Scx24 motor issues. Take 7.
So the motor went out on my 24. I just want to go over some things because I didn't realize my motor was going out, and me being the kind of guy that wants to diagnose my troubles, I inadvertently fried my ESC controller as well. So, first, the motor issue. So, I was crawling with my truck and everything was going fine, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. It just stopped, but it acted like the battery was dying. You know how the battery starts to die and the wheels will still turn, but you won't be able to go forward or backward. It was doing that, but like the battery was only half, maybe half gone. So then I went over and I picked it up and I like rolled the wheels physically with my fingers, and all 4 wheels rolled. And then I set it back down and it took off and it rolled fine for a couple of minutes. And then it stopped again and did the same exact thing. So I repeated the exact same process until about after 5 or 6 minutes, it would only move. I would try it in first, second, third gear, and it was moving, but it was moving slower and slower. And then it would got to where it would stop. Then I would go pick it up and move the wheels, and it would go again for a couple of seconds, slower and slower, and stop. And I didn't know that that was the motor going out. I didn't know what was going on because I'm new to this. I've only had this truck for going on 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. I mean, I've done some research. I've watched a ton of videos on YouTube to try and figure out, all the things I needed to know about this going into it. And so that's what happened, and that's eventually what the problem was. Along the way, diagnosing the problem, what I did was I unhooked the battery from the battery terminals on the ESC and plug the battery in and unhook the motor from the ESC. And then I took my testing light, which is really hard to do, to get a test light down, way down in those prongs right there. But I was able to do it, and I pulled the trigger on the remote control, hand remote control, and the light lit up. So yeah, I'm getting power to it. Okay, so it's the motor. But when I was pulling everything out of there from testing it, I crossed the streams. No, this isn't Ghostbusters. Sorry. I crossed the terminals in there, and a little bit of smoke came out of the ESC. It was only a second, but it was gone then. When I tried to repeat the same test, I couldn't get any light out of there, so I know I fried it. But if your truck starts to go slower and slower and stop, and then you pick it up and you roll the wheels, and it goes again for a little bit, and it goes slower and stops, it's probably the motor. Stay away from this thing over here. Don't do that. Just get a new motor. It's just easier. Because this I had to find, and it was like the last one I could find on. There wasn't one on eBay. I found the last one on Amazon. So I was able to get this. Obviously the parts aren't here yet. And I did go with the barrage motor just because, I've heard a lot of people say that it's a lot more durable. It's a more sturdy motor. It's got lower torque. And I'm not really into running this thing in third gear. I never use this thing in third gear. I always use it in first or second. I never put it in third speed. So, I'm just looking for torque so I can crawl over stuff, and people say the barrage motor is the way to go. So that's what I got. And I also bought the face plate that was already pre-drilled. Just in case I messed this one up, I didn't, I'm going to try and put this one in because I want to keep the original, the stock one, because it has this little cover right here that covers the front drive shaft coming out, and the the plate that I bought doesn't have that cover on it. So I want to try and keep this cover. And obviously I have a new ESC coming in, and the rest of my truck is pretty much right here. Why did I take my truck all the way apart, you say, when you didn't really need to do that? I'm just kind of like a mad scientist. I just like to know how things work, and so I decided to take it all the way apart so I could put it back together and figure everything out. So I hope this helps you if you're getting into this and you're starting to have problems. It looks like your battery's dying halfway through, you know, when your battery shouldn't be dead. It could be your motor. And no one really went over this on YouTube. I never really saw any videos on YouTube on how to diagnose when that happens. People would just say, well, my motor went out over the weekend, so I got the barrage, or, you know, whatever they would say, but they would never really say what happened, how it happened, how it happened that their motor went out, so that other people would know when it was happening to them the same way. I hope this helps you. If it does, give me a thumbs up. Or not. I don't care. It's cool, man. Either way. I just hope this helps you. And if you're a guy like me who just likes to go out and do research before I buy something, then this might be helpful to you. Thanks. See you.